Oh my gosh, is this real?
Oh.
Aloha everyone and welcome back to my channel. As some of you guys had requested, I will be reacting to Matt Corby singing Brother. So let's dive right in. I was not expecting that. Wow, that is so beautiful. All that space.
Sleep now under my skin, mate. Show you try to conjure the wind and ease my mind.
Oh my gosh. This is so good. I officially have a new favorite singer. Thank you very much. Wow, beautiful head voice.
To your brother, he's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame.
Oh my gosh, is this real?
You couldn't help out your own neighbor, you couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame. You cower in the corner, confide in your father. Let it out inside. Let it pass away. Sleep now under my skin. Show you try.
His voice is so gentle, but there's like a little bit of like rasp and like a vocal fry in there. It's so interesting. Wow. He goes into more of like this lighter falsetto feeling, and then he kind of just lets it drop, you know, that muscle on his vocal folds that kind of gives it more of that thicker chestier sound in his voice, which is actually kind of fun to play with. You're like, ooh. So he's like, ooh, 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 whoa. It's like that. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. So that time he stayed in that falsetto head voice.
Somebody call out to your brother, he's calling out your name.
Oh my gosh.
Hiding under the covers with no one else to blame.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you couldn't help out your own neighbor.
Wow.
You couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame.
So because he's doing a vocal growl so many times, I want to talk about what's happening at the vocal folds when he is doing that. If you are not familiar of what it kind of looks like internally, you know, your vocal folds lay on top of the larynx. There's the epiglottis that flips over every time you swallow, but on the back side of that, there are two pieces of tissue, also known as the false vocal folds, that kind of fold over your vocal folds as well from time to time. But when you growl, those are basically moving. So that's what kind of creates that growl sound in his voice, as you can hear. So this is really cool. So he's like, I can kind of try to do it just for fun. Could help your neighbor. Kind of something like that. I don't know. I'm just playing around. So yeah, very interesting technique that he's doing.
You cower in the corner,
Oh my gosh. Beautiful choices.
Wait there, pull yourself out of this state, dear. Acknowledge that you are fake here. From there on, you might just grow. Somebody call unto your brother, he's calling out your name. Hiding under the covers with no one else to blame.
It's like, I feel like he's gonna build.
You couldn't help out your neighbor, you couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame. Oh, somebody call out to your brother, he's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
You couldn't help out your own neighbor, you couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blood.
Wow, that's a little bit more of a vocal fry there. Yeah.
He's calling out your name.
Oh my gosh.
Hiding under the covers with no one else to blame.
Oh my goodness.
You couldn't help out your own neighbor. You couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That was just, wow. This ending part was so intense. I did not expect him to go into like a scream. That was crazy. That was like a scream. He used a little bit of like a vocal fry to kind of help him do a scream safely. It didn't seem like he was forcing it at all. Right here was probably one of my favorite parts.
He's calling out your name. Whoa.
Yeah. It was a cry, a vocal fry.
With no one else to blame. You couldn't help out your own
And then he
neighbor.
kind of like
You couldn't
makes like it just when he's singing in that part of his register, it's like it sounds so thin, so piercing, and then maybe even a little bit shallow. But then I love how he also kind of opens it up, you know, and he kind of adds in more tone into his voice. It's such a beautiful contrast, and I love hearing that. You know, he was singing so lightly in the beginning, and then he adds like a growl, and then just when I think it was intense, it got more intense when he started to add like a vocal fry and then a scream in there, and then it's just like, oh man, it just takes you through a roller coaster of emotions. So right here.
hiding under the covers.
So this was the
with
part
no
right
one
here.
else to blame. Oh, you couldn't help out
Gritty.
your own neighbor. You couldn't tell it to his face.
And then he adds more tone in there. So beautiful right there. To kind of summarize my overall impression of the song and of this singer, this is my first time hearing him ever, and I am shocked. His voice was not what I expected at all. Like, you can tell he definitely spent time with his voice, playing around with different registers of his voice. He's very comfortable, his head voice, his chest voice, doing all those different stylistic techniques, the growl, the vocal fry, this little scream in his voice. You could hear it there. It's crazy. Like, my mind is still blown. This is just unbelievable. Like, I did not expect this at all. I gotta hand it to him because he not only delivered vocally, but also instrumentally. You know, he was playing acoustic by himself while singing at the same time. And that is a very hard thing to do, like especially if you're just starting out, learning how to play guitar or learning how to sing, and you want to do both at the same time. That can be a really hard thing to do. I think as far as expression, because he wasn't able to really showcase that through, you know, his hand motions, because he's playing guitar, I think that he really displayed that very well as far as his facial expressions, especially towards the ending. His face, you could just feel the intensity in that moment with him.